So I've heard that Hackley Library is haunted.
I don't know if I believe that. Hi, welcome back to Everything Imaginable, the official Hackley Public Library podcast. I am Christina LeVay Rowland. I am the Outreach Programming Librarian here at Hackley.
And I am Mallory Mesker. I am the Community Engagement Coordinator with Hackley Public Library. And today we have a special guest. We have our director, Mr. Joe Zappacosta.
Hi.
Joe, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think this is going to be fun, especially because we are going to talk about whether or not Hackley Library is haunted. And I get this question a lot. Did I know that the library is haunted? And I have to say, I did not know that.
I had no idea.
I had no clue. So I wanted to talk today a little bit about what stories you guys have heard about the library, and let's not forget Torrent House also.
Yeah, so I know ever since I first started working here, I've had the same questions. People were asking, is it haunted? Have you felt anything? Have you seen anything? Me personally, I have not. I have not felt anything. I've not seen anything. It'd be interesting, for me just to kind of be walking through the library and see a ghostly figure or hear a noise. Me personally, not so much, but there have been several accounts, that I've heard from staff members, whether it be things that staff have seen or heard, or things that patrons have relayed back to staff.
Like what?
Yes.
What have people said that they've seen or experienced?
Yes, so just a couple things. I remember hearing a story from a staff member before that many years ago there was like a special story time happening in youth services, and so it was kind of dark. It was more campfire themed, I think, if I can remember correctly, so kind of like, spooky setting, and apparently some books fell off the shelf. And from what I had heard, two staff members kind of like looked at each other like, what was that? And it was never really explained, what it was or what that could have been, or who knows,
See, it's interesting that you said that happened in youth services, because as we know, that is where Charles Hackley's body was for his funeral,
yes,
right?
Where he laid in state. Yep.
So
that is
maybe it was Charles Hackley.
It might have been. Well, there's another account that someone had said before that they had seen a man in period clothing, and then when they looked again, it was gone. And apparently later on, at a later date, they had seen a portrait of Charles Hackley, and they thought, oh, that was who I saw.
See, that's just weird.
Yeah.
That's just weird. And maybe that did happen.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah. You never know. But it's not, I don't think it's super uncommon for people to sometimes think they see someone in period clothing, because there had been another example of someone who had claimed to have seen kind of a vision of someone in one of the mirrors in the bathroom.
Whoa.
And it was someone who was dressed in period clothing, and then it vanished, it disappeared.
That's spooky, though.
Yeah, it's interesting. It makes you wonder, because sometimes the mind plays tricks on us. Sometimes we think we see things that we don't, but you never know. If you don't experience it for yourself, it's kind of hard to say.
As we're talking about this, the one thing that keeps coming into my mind is that scene from Ghostbusters. Do you remember that?
Yes.
With the librarian, and she's just sort of floating there, and then she just like looks at them. I don't remember, does she shush them? I can't remember, but then she just like, and like,
And
I think
she turns into a crazy, like, monster
yes,
type thing.
and I think she like spits ectoplasm all over them.
Yes,
It's slime. Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It's
So-
interesting that you mentioned that, because on one of the Facebook posts that I recently shared, it was in the glass floor stacks area, and someone shared a meme of that ghost from
See?
Ghostbusters, and I was like, yes.
See, our library just brings up those visions, those
Yeah.
thoughts, and it's because the building is so old. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been here since 1890. I
Yeah.
mean, I can
Tons
see
of
why
history.
people would think something is,
Yeah.
Awry.
Yeah. That there could be something happening.
Yeah.
And we've had ghost hunting groups also come to both Hackley Public Library and the Torrent House to do testing.
That's right.
And I will say all of the groups that we've had, they are wonderful about making sure that everything they're doing is legit. You know, they bring a lot of different instruments, many of which I have no knowledge about, but a lot of different tools to kind of test out sound, to test wavelengths, to test energies and heat even. And they're all very interested in only finding legitimate things if they can.
Sure.
And I mean, I remember even one time we had a group here at the Torrent House, and there were some outside noises, I think like a car horn or something beeping, and as they're recording their findings, they mention, oh, that was a car horn, or there was someone talking, just so you can kind of differentiate what is actually being found versus the white noise from outside.
So speaking of the ghost hunting groups that have come in, as you said, there have been multiple. Joe, you were actually here during one of those ghost hunts. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, this was as a fundraiser activity that was awarded to someone who had been at this fundraiser. It was for Pioneer Resources. So my wife and I, Bridget, were planning something, and we thought, wouldn't it be neat to do a ghost hunting experience at the Torrent House? And we would do it late in the night, and there'd be snacks, and we found a really great group. They're called the Great Lake Spirit Seekers. Give a little shout out, because they were very, just like Mallory explained, they're very professional. They were very conscientious about where they put things, and they mentioned about like the equipment that they used. That was part of the event, was that they would talk about it. So they explained a lot of what they were using and how they worked and the theories behind them. And very professional, stayed very focused. So, I mean, my experience is, well, personally, I'm very much a skeptic, like just on a basic level. I mean, if you ask me, do I believe in ghosts? I'm probably going to say, I haven't really seen enough maybe, but I'm willing to be open to it. And that's why we thought this would be both fun, but also a great experience in it for ourselves. So, I'm always watching things on YouTube and almost kind of want to believe that something can be spiritual, like there's spirits out there and we can communicate with them. So I'm open, I'm receptive, and but skeptical. But I say the two things that happened that day or that night that might have kind of drew a little bit of attention to, that I would say be worth mentioning, was we were in the basement, which so the Torrent House has a really amazing history. To give you a little context, it was at one point it was a home of the Torrents, and then it was a mortuary or a funeral home. So you got that, and then for many years it was a hospital. And during that time, the morgue, or one of the operating rooms, was in the basement, and that's where we set up some of their equipment. And they had those little like cat toys that light up. So when you hit them, they turn colors and they light up. So they had some of those laid about. Then they had this little thing. It was sort of shaped like a casket, but it had like almost like a music box sound to it. So when you open a music box, it goes ding, ding,
That's
ding,
horrifying in itself.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
So they had one of
Imagine
those.
if that went off.
Right.
Yeah.
I would have been like, I gotta go.
So they had one of those like in another room, just off of the room we were in. And then there was this like a spirit talker or something like that, where it would sound like a radio, kind of loud. And that was like, at first, it was a big group. I'd say it was probably 12 of us at least, plus a handful of them, all crowded in this room, waiting for something to happen. Really nothing was happening. It was very frustrating. Then we had one of the participants just sort of took it on herself to ask some questions, and then she started talking about an experience she had as a child, or something that she was experiencing. I forget if it was current or if it was, but it was something she was asking about them, if what they thought of this experience she's had. And all of a sudden things just started lighting up, like the balls were lighting up, the little music box was making noise, they were hearing voices through the radio, but she kept talking and wasn't picking up on it. And they were trying to be really polite and being like, hey, let's just listen. And like, can you believe this is happening? And they were like, trying to record it. And I didn't really get a sense of what was being like happening, other than because she was talking so loudly. So then she left and all the activity stopped. So it was
Oh,
like she kind of brought the
She
energy.
brought it. Yeah, that's
It was
interesting.
like she was a conduit for this.
Have we considered maybe she's a ghost?
No.
Maybe she is not real.
Or they had different members of their group. There was like a psychic, and then they had like their own designation, and maybe she's psychic and she doesn't.
Maybe she has
Maybe.
those
She has
special
those psychic
abilities,
abilities, yeah.
because
Yeah.
some people are more in tune
Fascinating.
with
Yeah.
things
She just
of
doesn't
that
realize.
realm. Yeah.
So
And maybe there were just too many people in the room and the ghosts were shy.
Yeah. Maybe
Right.
they
They were
wanted
just
their
like,
alone time,
um,
their space.
This
Yeah.
is too many people. I don't perform in front of a group
Yeah.
or something. I don't
Right.
know.
yeah.
It is interesting though that you bring up that happened here at the Torrent House, where it was once a hospital and a funeral home.
Yeah.
Because isn't there a story that back in the day a body was left here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that is true. It was when the mortuary was leaving, so they were no longer housing the Torrent House anymore as their location, and the osteopathic hospital was moving in. There had been a body accidentally left in the basement, I believe, and it was kind of by, a surprise when they found that, thinking, oh, I think you left someone here, not something, someone.
Sorry, I'm not laughing that it's funny that a body got left. I'm laughing that they had to be so polite about it.
Right, yeah.
He may have left a person.
Well, can you imagine finding that? Imagine moving in, your
Unfortunately,
things.
yes, I can imagine it, and
Yeah.
it's terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would not
Oh.
be great to come across that. I would not have wanted to be the person to come across that.
No.
So, but you never know with things left undone, left unturned, spirits. Who knows? They might be lingering. You never know.
Are we sure there are no bodies left now?
Yes.
I think we're sure.
Okay.
we know.
Yes.
So if I go in that creepy basement right now, I'm not going to stumble
No.
upon a body?
No.
Okay.
You might find maybe a cobweb here or there, but very
Also,
clean.
also not good. Also don't
Yes.
like that.
Well, spiders are friends. We
You
like
might
spiders.
pick up on some spooky vibes. too.
Yes.
I like
down
the
there.
spiders if they stay over there.
Yes.
They come on my space.
They're beneficial.
Same with dead bodies.
Yes.
It's fine.
It's a
In the
factor
proper
of-
places, yes.
All right. Any other spooky or creepy experiences people have had?
I've also just heard some people hearing maybe sounds, voices or movements. I mean, these are old structures.
I was going to say.
I myself live in an older home. The floors creak, it happens, and things settle. But, with people hearing those, voices possibly or sounds, you never know what it could be.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's hard to say.
when I'm at the library, I feel like a sort of warm
Yeah.
presence. Like if anything, like if I'm there by myself, you definitely can pick up more on this sort of warm. It's not scary. Like you're not like, I gotta get out of here.
No, absolutely not.
But I have been to the Torrent House a few times. Like I really don't. I'm like I said, I grew up in an old home. It was a very old home, and it was very creaky. And there was experiences that we'll talk about now, even with my siblings, and we'll say like, remember that time when this thing happened?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we had experiences. So I like to feel like I'm a little more open to it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm definitely not really comfortable being in the Torrent House by myself. Like I don't really want to be left here by myself, and I do have a tendency to want to get out of here as quickly as possible. So there's definitely a feeling like if you're here by yourself, it's dark. It's definitely very creepy. There's definitely some spooky vibes. I got a call like late at night that a security alarm was going off in the library. It was like a snowy night, and I came in and I went in the back. And I heard, like, I came in the back door, like the staff entrance, and I heard all this, like, rustling and bumbling around.
What?
And I was like, oh my God,
That's crazy.
somebody's in here. So I went bolting out and ran around, like, the corner to go to the parking lot. And as I was coming, an officer was coming around the corner there, and I almost ran right into him. And I was like, no, seriously, I just...
You almost got arrested.
And he's like, no, we're just, and I was like, I think there could be someone in there. And he's like, no, there's a couple of officers checking out the building because this door was left open. And I was like, what? That can't possibly be. There was another time when the power was out and it was all dark, like completely dark in here. And, but somehow we were getting an alarm and I met an officer and we were like, we should at least just walk through the building. And we were walking in on the main level there. And we were coming up from the back stairs and we were coming through the reading room. And there was a loud, like, rustling sound, like in the corner there, like it'd be like if you're looking towards the stained glass, it'd be like the left.
Okay.
There's all this rustling sound, and I'm like, oh, there's got to be someone here. And so he's like all taking stance, and like he slowly went over, and he's like, nothing. And there was nothing there.
See?
I don't know.
That could have been a ghost.
It was loud though, and then.
Because why would it have made noise otherwise?
I
There was
don't
nothing
know.
there.
It was trying to alert.
I'm
here. Leave me be.
It was so real that I wasn't convinced. I was like, for a little while, it took me a little while to like be like, there's no one in here, because I was just like, that sounded very real.
Wow.
So
Freaky.
I don't know, but there was nothing there. I don't know if it was ghosts. It could have just been.
Oh my gosh, we didn't talk about the upstairs door opening.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
yeah, the video.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm trying to
no.
remember how that
It was.
went. Yeah, there was that
Right.
one day we all came in and Lydia and Melissa came downstairs and told us that door that kind of goes to nowhere. I mean, it's like a little,
Like a little
like a
porch.
balcony.
Little balcony
Yeah,
porch
Yeah.
there.
balcony door.
But it's supposed to be always closed and always locked.
It's always closed.
Mhm.
And
always locked. Yeah.
it was open,
Yeah.
Mhm.
which is very freaky.
And not just partially cracked. It was ajar.
it was,
Mhm.
yes,
No,
it was
totally,
open.
yeah.
No, that was unexplained. I don't
Right.
think we ever
We don't have an explanation.
found a solution
No.
or an explanation as to why that happened.
No.
There's one staircase in this building that when I walk past it, for some reason, my body feels like it's being pulled toward it. I'm like, I don't
Interesting.
understand this staircase,
Yeah.
so I just don't go that way.
Yeah. Which.
Yeah, you can avoid certain
Yeah.
areas.
Yeah. And you know, we have staff who work here 40 hours a week,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and they're totally fine.
Yeah,
So,
they love it. They
Right.
love it here. And
Yeah.
I love the tornado.
No, I think everybody-
It's beautiful.
I think
It
everyone's
is.
spooked out by those stairs though.
Yeah.
I mean, I did took a tumble down them, and I was here by myself when that happened, so it's not something I like. I feel very uncomfortable around those
Yeah.
stairs for many reasons, but even everyone who works here will say, I will never go anywhere near those stairs.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
stairs are
They're,
weird.
Yeah.
they're just creepy, and they're really very steep,
Yes.
so they're not really great in begin with, but it does definitely feel very eerie around them.
No, I agree though. Like at Hackley Library, I've been there by myself before too. I remember one time we had a program that it was during I think COVID time, and I virtually recorded a performance group, and then we streamed it. And so then they left, and then I was locking up, and I was like, oh, I'm here by myself, but it felt fun, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Comfortable place, welcoming. That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, I was just thinking, there is no spot in the library that feels creepy.
Right. No.
It's like, there's no like weird corners or spots that are like
Yeah.
dimly lit or anything. It's just a nice, beautiful, warm, and inviting
Yeah.
space.
Which is that's how we want it.
Mhm.
But I think it's really cool though that people have had experiences. I think it's cool that people embrace that. I also think it's really nice though that you can come in and just feel comfortable one way or another. And but you never know what you're going to experience at the library.
That's true. And you know what? We're not saying that it's not haunted. We're just saying that we haven't experienced anything in the library. Now, Torrent House is a different story.
Yes, different story there.
So someday, they'll just have to come to the library and see.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come see for yourself and just kind of browse around and see what moves you.
Or what moves around you.
Or moves around you. Yes.
Scary.
Something else you might want to check out, we have an amazing author in our community named Marie Cisneros. And she wrote a great book called Haunted Muskegon, and it talks about various locations and places that have some possible hauntings or ghost stories. You're definitely going to want to check it out. It is within the collection of Lakeland Library Cooperative, so take a peek at that. But, well, thank you so much for watching today, and we hope to see you at the library.
Bye.
If you ever go on YouTube, search bats eating grapes.
Oh, it is really
It's
cute
so
with their big
cute.
eyeballs and their
Yes.
little grape. Yeah, that is really
Darling.
cute.